Dear God and guiding spirits, angels of light and love, guide me on my path to my highest good. Today I ask that I receive better understanding of the law of correspondence. I know that this law basically says that as within, as without. So within, so without. Basically whatever is above is like that which is below. That our outer life is a reflection of our inner life. And that there's a direct correspondence between the way we think and feel on the inside and the way we act and experience life on the outside. And so today, through my spirit calling card reading, and I invite another one of my guided visual journeys, which is basically a mini movie that I receive when I close my eyes and ask a question to my guides, to my divine helpers. I'll be sharing this understanding that I'm gaining as the symbols that I'm gaining as I do the reading. And from there, I will pull symbology to create the fourth of my Enter the Mandela Project paintings, the Law of Correspondence. So let's begin. I'm just shuffling the spirit calling cards, focusing on the Law of Correspondence. Please help me to better understand the Law of Correspondence. I'm picking 5 cards with my left hand, the hand of the subconscious. And with each of these cards that you can see in the photo here in the blog, I will make a sentence that resonates within, that feels like that is what I'm being delivered. The cards are beginning, imagine, open, together, transform. Open through imagination and begin to transform together. That feels very strong. Open to imagination and begin to transform together. So basically I am being told to open to the messages that will be coming to me through my intuitive reading, and that we will begin to transform together as we explore the law of correspondence. I see an acorn. This acorn is in the center of a ring. And in the acorn are, I want to say zillions. There's just lots and lots. It's like if it was crawling with ants, but they're not ants. They're little people with wheelbarrows and pitchforks. Not pitchforks, but axes. All sorts of tools for building, all sorts of tools for digging. Some people are carrying trays of water. It's almost like if it has the sense of a barn raising, the community sense of a barn raising, in terms of, some people are preparing the food for the workers are doing their work, but all this is happening in the multiple little layers and grooves and nooks and crannies of this acorn. This acorn I see is made of gold. Although it is alive, it's not gold as we know it. It's not been spray painted gold or anything like that. It's simply gold but alive. That's the best way I can describe it. And some of these people are also carrying watering cans. They're watering the acorn. Some of them are doing like a garden around it of all these little mini flowers. But the acorn is starting to take root. It's still within this ring, a ring very much like I do on my actual paintings. And so, okay, and at this point it's becoming like a wedding band. Again, it's a gold ring with the gold acorn in the middle, and this world buzzing around. But the minerals, the gold, the color of both the wedding band, I'm being shown marriage, just the marriage of above and below perhaps. I won't jump into interpretation too much right now, just keep going with the symbolism. of what I'm seeing, or just recording what I'm seeing here. The metal is leaching from the wedding band into the earth around to the surrounding area, which was barren, but now it's spreading like roots underground, these golden roots underground. And as the tree begins to grow on the inside of the acorn, with the circle of people cheering and celebrating, the roots are expanding on the outside, and multiple trees are growing on the outside from these roots. And as it's hard to keep up because there's things happening in the middle, there's things happening on the outside here, and you've got the foliage. The foliage has come in the middle, and it's coming in on the trees on the outside. Flocks of cranes are flying out amongst the trees. This is bringing me right back to Ubud in Bali, where I was in 2014. There's a little village there where the cranes come to nest every night. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the contrast. Okay, this is just bringing me right back to Ubud, to what I saw. The contrast of the cranes flying, the freedom and the symbolism of cranes, but the cockfights on the ground. And it's as if my eyes is being... I'm being flipped from one to the other, from flip to one to the other, as in choose which one you want to see, which one you want to focus on. And the scenery inside I'm going to call it the wedding band, the tree, the acorn, it's going from fall foliage drying and barren to, like it's flipping back and forth to a rich, abundant, fertile type of scene, to one that is barren and dry, and from the cockfight to the like they're being switched on like a light switch. The light switch. I'm now seeing a sort of a separate scene of that light switch, choosing light, choosing darkness, choosing growth, choosing barren, infertile lands. And this wave of water basically just cleaned that whole image away right now. And we're almost being left again with a blank canvas. And now I'm seeing an eye, but the entire eyeball, not connected to a face, not connected to any veins either, just like a glass bead, but it's an eye. I know it's an eye, looking straight up. So what I'm seeing is the iris. Beautiful, beautiful eye. And although there are no... it's blinking, but there's no eyelids. Go figure. And from this eye, the tears from the eye are now nourishing the ground beneath it. And it is again now being presented in the middle of that golden ring, the wedding band, the one that was leaching its minerals into the ground to the roots. And so the tears are becoming water, a source of water and salt for the earth. Another level of experience. I'm seeing trucks driving around the ring. I don't know if this relates to the trucks that were in my previous vision for the law of action. But the trucks are on the outside of the wedding band, and they're driving around in circles, one after the other. Almost as if they were awaiting orders. And as the eye disappears and the acorn reappears, people are sitting on the edges of the acorn as if they were either taking notes or writing down orders. Yep, and they're making little paper airplanes with them, sending them over the ring to the trucks. And the drivers catch these paper airplanes through their windows, making them, reading them, and then building. It's like, okay, it's become a construction site again. So now you've not only got the trucks, but some of them have turned into backhoes and tractors and all the different equipment that you need to build. And so they're taking the orders from within this acorn, which now, instead of being one big tree, has various trees on different levels. It's like the acorn has become the platform for a whole new world. You've got all these little people that are, living in and around it, and there are trees growing on its, I wouldn't know how to call them, but little bits of acorn. This is reminding me of the Hundertwasser houses in Vienna, an architect who would allow trees to grow from the outsides of the walls of the buildings, making it very natural. Very beautiful. This is a very sort of, the feeling I'm getting is just things are as is. I'm not getting, there's not a heightened excitement, or there's not a lot of feeling in this vision. It just simply is as it is, and I'm being shown the light switch again. But the finger is hesitant. The finger is just sort of waiting there, as in, which one do you choose? And as they're rebuilding this world inside, I say rebuilding the world inside simply because it had been a vision, and now it had been a full-blown tree and full-grown tree, and now it's got many different trees. The people are now active again. They've sent off their orders. The construction crews have already started building on the outside. And on the outside, beyond where the cranes were, beyond that, there's it's waves. I'm seeing waves, but it's also clouds in the sky. It's a blend of sunset, sunrises, and waves, the ocean, and it's at a higher level, as if we had gone to a higher layer, and the waves are making my body sway. So it's kind of the in and out, low tides and the high tides, and reflection. And I'm being shown, we're back at the acorn now. On one of the very top levels, there is a child holding a fishbowl type of container with water in it. And it's swaying the bowl and observing it. The bowl has in it the water, but also wisps of smoke, so that might be the clouds and the color is coming as a reflection of the child's face. Not necessarily the face, no, it's more the clothes that she's wearing. So the colors, the motion and all that from a little tiny bowl of a tiny little person at the top of this acorn is being reflected as a huge layer on the outside of what's happening in the world. So again, what's happening inside, as above, so below, as within, so without. Every tiny little bit of these, whatever is happening on the action, I'm being shown, perhaps a tiny little thought, or a tiny little feeling, or a tiny little reflection makes great waves on the outside, multiplied and from what's tiny on the inside of one acorn, huge on the outside, an entire layer. I'm being shown a sense, but a very general, vague, blurry sense, not any more specific stories of everything that's happening within this acorn with this community of people having effects on the outside. But it's not showing up as anything specific. It's just a sense of, what was true of that one child is true of all of the characters within. I've stopped swaying and getting the sense that this is the end of this vision. Thank you. I hope you've enjoyed the journey with me into the law of correspondence, and we'll see where this painting evolves.